Detective Comics Batman by Bob Kane. Already an almost legendary figure, the cowled shadow of the Batman prowls through the night, preying upon the criminal parasite, like the winged creature whose name he had adopted. Wending his way homeward, the Batman suddenly sees a man leap from a speeding car. Then, shots. The Batman! Let's get out of here! I don't want to fool around with him. Who shot you? Who were they? Fog. Fog. Strange. Fog. Strange. He's dead. Perhaps there is something in his pockets that might tell me something. Here's something. A notebook with... Police. The Batman! He's killed someone! Shoot him down! The Batman runs down an alley. Easily clears a 6-foot fence. So you want to play cops and robbers, eh? And disappears into the black night. Well, he's gone. No use chasing him any further. We can't see him in the dark anyway. You might as well chase a ghost. Later, the ghost, alias the Batman, alias Bruce Wayne, sits at home, puzzling over the words of the dead man. The words of that man have got me stumped. He kept muttering about a fog. A strange fog. Fog. Strange. Fog. Fog. Strange. Strange. Of course. He didn't mean a strange fog. He meant a fog had something to do with a person named Strange. Professor Hugo Strange. Professor Hugo Strange. The most dangerous man in the world. Scientist, philosopher, and a criminal genius. Little is known of him, yet this man is undoubtedly the greatest organizer of crime in the world. Maybe that little black book I found could tell me more about him and the fog. All the pages are blank, except this one. Why, it's a list of banks and other places. What's this on the bottom? The FBI. Then that man was a G-man. The FBI is not going to get this book till I clear the Batman's name of suspicion of the murder of the G-man and solve the mystery of the fog. I think I'll sit tight, see what happens, and then I'll act. Not far away, a man sits in a dimly lit room and gazes into the fire. A malignant smile crosses his face as he broods over the many evil schemes that surge through his brilliant but distorted brain. Professor Strange! That G-man we were supposed to take for a ride. The gunman tells his story. And then when I saw the Batman, I pulled away fast. You cowardly fool! You should have shot him down too! The Batman is the only man with the imagination to sense the exact nature of our plans. However, since the G-man is dead, he can get no information from that quarter. In that case, we will proceed as planned. Tomorrow night, the fog will strike. And then, ha ha ha! And then, ha 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 ha! The next night, a queer thing happens. A fog, a thick fog, such as one would find only in England, blankets the entire city. Some fog, eh, Clancy? I ain't ever seen the likes of it before. And did you notice how hot it's got since the fog hit us? Aye, that I did. And it strikes me as an evil sign. Why, if I was to have to chase a crook, I wouldn't be able to see him at all in this fog. This fog will be a bad thing for the police force. Clancy's words prove prophetic. The 2 following nights see banks robbed as the bandits flee and are swallowed up in the fog. Police headquarters. But Commissioner, we can't help it if we lose the bandits' car. Don't forget, we're not used to any fog. Well, get used to it. If this blasted fog keeps up, this city is going to have a crime wave such as it's never seen before. The home of Bruce Wayne. Flash. The Case National Bank reports a loss of $250,000 and the Bond Exchange Bank $100,000. Flash. Henry Jenkins, the missing electrical engineer, has not yet been heard from. No clues have... An electrical engineer disappears. An unusual fog covers the city. The first names on the little book's list are robbed. And a dying man utters the sinister name of Professor Hugo Strange. That night, as the dense fog again covers the city, a moving van pulls up in front of the Sterling Silver Company. Open up in name of the law. I'm a detective. The night watchman falls for the ruse and opens the door. This is a stick-up. Get back inside and be quiet. What is this? All right, boys. Get that silver moved out. I'll keep an eye on the watchman. Suddenly, the bent watchman throws off his clothes, straightens up, and the gigantic frame of the Batman stands towering in the light. Don't you think you had better keep 2 eyes on me? The dynamic Batman races toward the startled gunman. Let's pretend I'm the ball, and you're the bowling pins. What in the... The Batman! Shoot him! The Batman hurtles through the air and strikes them like a bombshell. This, boys, is what they call a perfect strike on any bowling alley. What hit me? Oh, my head. What happened? Was we struck by dynamite? Sorry I had to spoil your party, boys, but I guess I play too rough. This ought to bring the police on in a hurry. I knew those shots came from here. Look, a whole gang of them. The place looks like it was hit by a cyclone. And now, Professor Strange, let's see what your next move will be. Again, the room where sits the arch-criminal known as Professor Strange. The thieves keep saying they were set upon by the Batman. Who? The Batman? 6 of my men in the hands of the police, and all because of the Batman. This cannot go on. I must trap the Batman. The Batman knows my plans. Possibly the G-Man talked before he died. If that is so, then he knows that the Wolf Bros Fur Company is next on the list. I think I will prepare a warm reception for the Batman on his next visit. A very warm reception. I'll crush him as readily as I crush this glass. The next night, the Batman again goes forth on his nocturnal prowl into the inky blackness of the night. The Batman approaches the warehouse of the Wolf Bros Fur Company. Cautiously, he steps inside. Suddenly, the lights blaze on. The Batman is trapped. The Batman leaps into action. No shots, men. The professor wants him alive. The Batman runs forward, leaps into the air, and grasps a dangling rope. Not so fast, boys. What the? His agile frame swings out and catapults to the balcony across the room. After him, men! Up the stairs! The Batman springs up, grasps an overhanging beam, and sends the oncoming men flying back. Oof! Then, a daring leap into space, and he crashes onto the men below. The weird figure is upon the others like a panther, crushing them with powerhouse blows. This is so you won't forget to remember me. The Batman keeps up a ceaseless barrage of blows upon the gunmen. With the strength of a Hercules, the mighty Batman lifts a struggling body. You boys are a better workout than the gym. And sends him flying through space. Yeah! Upon the others. Suddenly, a black jack crashes down on the Batman's head. That ought to stop you. Oh, what a guy. Well, he's out. Now let's get him to the professor. Yeah, he's out. After wrecking a dozen men. That guy's TNT. Wow. My jaw. The hideout of Professor Hugo Strange. A warehouse near the riverfront. Regained consciousness, Batman? Good. Now you can be awake to enjoy the entertainment I have prepared for you. I have brought you here alive, so that you may know what it means to interfere with Professor Strange. The Batman is made ready for the lash. I'll teach you, with a taste of the lash. The whip cracks down on the massive figure, whose steel muscles suddenly surge with strength and snap his bonds. Quickly, he draws forth a glass pellet. As he slams it to the floor, a gas emanates, overcoming the men. Gas! Sleeping gas. Well, that won't get me. Maybe the gas won't, but I will. But with the power of a madman, the professor succeeds in securing a stranglehold on the Batman's throat. I'll choke every living breath out of your body. Ha ha ha! The Batman desperately tries an old jujitsu trick. And this, Professor, for the little whipping incident. As soon as I've got you securely tied, I'm going to see how you work this fog of yours. Coming upon a barred room, the Batman steps inside and sees. Help! Help me! Please! What? Don't be frightened. I'm the Batman. I've come to help you. You're Henry Jenkins, the missing electrical engineer, aren't you? Yes, I've been held prisoner by Professor Strange. Somehow he found out about my discovery of making concentrated lightning and kidnapped me. He found out that hot lightning caused condensed steam in the air, like a sort of unnatural fog in the air. He forced me to make this machine for him, but for what purpose, I do not know. His purpose was obvious. He organized a crime syndicate to loot the city, under the protection of the fog. Pursuit by the police was almost impossible. Now I suggest we lift this fog that hangs over this city like a plague. The two men spring to the controls of the gigantic machine. And soon, the fog is lifting. 'Tis a fine thing for the police force. It's nice to see a clear moon again. Radio. And so, we citizens of this city owe our thanks to one man, the Batman. Because of him, an arch-criminal is at last captured. There is... Who is the Batman, Daddy? A great man, son. A great man. Back at his home, Bruce Wayne, alias the Batman, listens to the broadcast. There is no doubt that Professor Hugo Strange is put away for a long time to come. I wonder. At the state penitentiary. They can't keep me here, caged like some wild beast. I'll escape. And when I do, I shall devote the rest of my life in revenging myself upon the Batman. Finish. The sensational Batman, America's most exciting mystery action-adventure strip, appears only in Detective Comics, a new thrilling episode. Spy, by Jerry Siegel and Maurice Kashuba. Bart Regan, of the U.S. Secret Service. Tension again grips Europe as Tortania, a sword-rattling nation, begins assembling her military might. As events grow even more grim, the Storga steamer dashes swiftly into the New York harbor. Just as Tortania invades Storga, and the war commences in Europe. Within a New York apartment, you have your orders. They shall be carried out to the letter. An hour later, his fiendish work done, the foreign agent hurries away from the Derma steamer. Washington, D.C., U.S. Spy Headquarters. I've learned that another steamer from Storga docks tomorrow. I want you to see that it is not sabotaged. I'll take a plane for New York immediately. Next morning, when the steamer Rantor docks, Bart Regan is on hand, keeping watch. Are you prepared for a possible attack? We've taken all precautions. Sorry, sir, but no one is allowed upon this vessel. But this is important. I've a message for the ship's captain. Must give it to him personally. Official business. You'll find him on deck. But hurry. As the hunchback climbs the gangplank, he accidentally bangs his knee, curses softly. That hunchback! He cursed in the Tortanian language! No sign of him. Get the crew together. Make a search. Yes, sir. At once. Later. Any luck? None. He seems to have vanished. But from behind Bart, two burning eyes glare from under a lifeboat cover. Whirling, Bart shoots the gun from the intended assassin's hand. You rat! Ow! Come on, get out of there. And if I refuse, then I'll drag you out myself. Oh no, you won't. I've enough dynamite on my back to blow this steamer to kingdom come. Stand back. And now to dispatch us to eternity. Diving into the lifeboat, Bart engages in a fierce hand-to-hand struggle. You fool! You'd sacrifice your own life as well. But I'd be doing it for the glory of Tortania. Losing their balance, the two figures topple overboard. Bart swims toward the foreign agent. Ready to surrender? Never! You'll do nothing of the sort. Bart swims to the pier, where he and his burden are assisted ashore. A scrapper, eh? Let go of me! Later, on board the Rantor. Will you tell us who your Confederates are? You're wasting your time. What's that? Just a pleasant means of making you talk. May I smoke? I suppose so. Give me that cigarette. Say, what's the idea? Taking the cigarette apart, Bart removes and exhibits poison, concealed within the cigarette. He meant to commit suicide, rather than reveal information. The drug is forcibly administered to the foreign agent. Stop! Ow! How long will it take for the drug to take effect? It's taking effect now. Are you and your comrades Tortanian secret agents? Yes. Where is your hideout? Rigsby Importing House. Commandeered by Bart, A number of police-laden cars dash toward the waterfront spy lair. The place appears empty. Do you think they could have flown? A thorough search of the premises begins, as Bart is separated from the others. What the? A panel. Step in. Quickly. Downstairs. Hurry. It certainly looks bad for me. This will attend to you while I perform Plan B. Plan B? Yes. Driving within one of the two torpedo boats, I will deliberately ram the Rantor, destroying both the steamer and myself. Farewell. Struggling desperately, Bart frees himself. I'll be untied in a few moments. I've got to stop him. As the spy leader nears the Rantor, he notes, "The American spy! More speed. I've got to outrace him to the steamer." Bart leaps free of his craft at the last moment. There is a terrific explosion as the two torpedo boats crash into each other. Later that day, the Rantor is intact today only because of your bravery. Sabotaging the Rantor might have drawn the United States into the war. The end. Buck Marshall, Range Detective, by H. Fleming. Claim of Satan. Buck has just arrived at the office of his friend, the sheriff in Sage City, after an absence of a month. The sheriff is speaking. Buck, I'd give a heap to be out of this sheriff's job right now. I've got to hang a man I'm sure isn't guilty. I'll tell you what I know about this killing, from the evidence brought out at the trial. Jim Tracy and Ned Gavin were partners in a placer claim they located on Spawn Creek. The other miners had always remarked how well these two seemed to pull together. A few days ago, Ned throws down his pick and strides angrily over to his partner. I'm through with this backbreaking drudgery. I'm getting my job back at the Rafter 6. I'm a cowpuncher, not a desert rat. Why, you can't do that, Ned. What about our agreement with Barney? He grub-staked us, and we've got to give this claim a fair trial. The agreement ain't worrying me. I'm pulling out right now. I'm through. Savvy? Hold on, Ned. Neither of us is quitting until we've got enough to repay that stake. Take your hand off of me. I said take your hand off! Ned was a trained boxer. Jim was no match for him. Guess that will hold ya. When Jim comes to his senses, Ned is gone. Later, he saddles up and starts for town to get some provisions. Suddenly, he hears his name called from behind a distant clump of boulders. Hey, Jim! That's Ned. He's decided to come back. Pleased at hearing Ned call, he turns his horse around. Just then, Ned's mounted figure appears from behind a boulder. Then comes the crack of a pistol shot. As a bullet grazes his sleeve, Jim draws and fires. The figure on the horse crumples and slides to the ground. Suspecting that someone else, dressed like Ned, had fired at him, he makes his way up and finds his partner sprawled out, shot through the head. Yes, it's him all right. I was hoping it wasn't. Suddenly, a voice rasps behind him. Drop that gun, Tracy, and lift your hands high. You've done your last killing. Tracy is tied in his saddle by Leif Briggs and Joe Schaefer and brought to my office. It's lucky we happened along. Too many of these killings. Leif Briggs hands me Ned Gavin's gun. It is a .44 and fully loaded. Ned Gavin never fired a shot, He was killed in cold blood. At the trial, Briggs tells how he and Schaefer find Tracy at the scene of the murder. Schaefer and I were looking after our traps when we hear a shot. We see Tracy standing over the body with a gun in his hand. Jack Welsh, another claim owner, testifies that he had seen the two partners in a fistfight. It sounded to me as though Tracy was arguing with Ned Gavin over the profits from their claim. They got into a fistfight, and Tracy got the worst of it. Tracy's only defense is that Gavin fired the first shot. The case goes to the jury. In less than 30 minutes, the foreman returns with the verdict. We find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree. So there's the whole story, Buck. The sentence is hanging. Tomorrow morning. Let me talk to Tracy. Sure. I wish you would. There's been some ugly talk of lynching. Maybe you can find some loophole. You know, Ned Gavin was well liked. Buck goes back to the cell where Tracy is confined. In about an hour, he returns to the sheriff's office. Sheriff, from my talk with Tracy, I think he's being framed. I'm going to find out if anyone has tried to file a claim on his holdings up there. Returning from the claim office, Buck tells the sheriff of his suspicions. I think I have a plan to trap the real murderers of Gavin. Can you get me a shirt, dungarees, and boots, such as Tracy is wearing? Sure. A short time later, Buck heads for Black Rock Canyon with a bundle tied to his saddle. Buck dismounts at the edge of the canyon, about a mile beyond the spot selected for the hanging. This is about the right place. About 10 feet below the edge of the rim of the canyon is a ledge of rock, underneath which is a shallow niche easily reached. Couldn't be better. Now I'll get that bundle and go below. Tying his rope to a jag of rock, Buck lowers himself to an outcropping of boulders, many feet below. Taking the shirt and dungarees from the bundle, he stuffs them with grass and leaves. Not bad. From up there, that dummy should look real. When Buck gets back, the sheriff is getting ready to carry out the sentence. The hour has been changed to sunset. I just want to see Tracy for a moment, Sheriff. Go ahead. I hope your plan works. We've changed the hour because of lynching threats. There'll just be a committee present. At the appointed time, the sheriff and the committee secretly ride away from the jail with the prisoner. All right, boys. Get it over with. Get the noose ready while I untie his hands from the pommel. As the sheriff rides alongside of Tracy, the miner's hand suddenly shoots out to the lawman's gun, yanking it from the holster. Drop those guns! Lift your hands, all of you! Watch yourselves! Meanwhile, Buck has been following some distance behind. As the sheriff and his party see Tracy dash away, they hear a volley of shots right behind him as Buck streaks along in pursuit. Tracy heads for the canyon. As he nears a clump of bushes near the edge, he suddenly throws up his hands and pitches headlong from the saddle. In a few minutes, the sheriff and the others ride up to the edge of the canyon and look down. There he is. What's left of him. Down there on the rocks. He ain't nothing but buzzard's bait now. We'll get the body in the morning. As darkness closes in, the sheriff and the committee start back to town. Buck waits until they are gone. Then, he climbs down to the ledge. Hello, Tracy! Are you under there? Come out of your nest. All's clear. Okay, coming. In a few moments, Tracy climbs up from the niche beneath the ledge. That sure was a great idea about faking being hit. I almost broke my neck when I tumbled. but I made the ledge. Well, you look pretty healthy. Now for the rest of the program. Let's go. When they have climbed up from the ledge, Tracy catches his horse. Then, he and Buck head for a cabin occupied by the two trappers, Briggs and Schaefer. We're getting near. Better take it easy, so as to give Briggs and Schaefer time to get home. Arriving near the cabin, they leave their horses and creep to an open lighted window. Presently, someone rides up and enters. Then, they hear voices. Briggs, I'm paying you and Schaefer off. You two pack out for a year or two, then the whole thing will be forgotten. Savvy? Nothing doing, Welch. We're staying, and help you work Tracy's claim. Savvy? Hearing his name mentioned, Tracy moves swiftly to the door. And look here, Welsh. Maybe Schaefer did put a slug in Ned Gavin, but you hired him. And it was your idea also for me to hold Gavin's body in the saddle, while you framed Tracy into firing that shot. That's all I wanted to know. You! It's his ghost! Thinking that Tracy is unarmed, Welsh reaches for his gun. Don't try it, Welsh. It just took a shirt and an old pair of overalls to trip you three smart claim jumpers. Get their hardware, Tracy. They might shoot themselves. The end. Steve Malone, District Attorney, by Don Lynch. Reporter Hawley finds Malone in a small downtown restaurant. Hello, Hawkeye. If you're after a story, I don't have one. This time, I'm going to give you news. Still looking for Rocky Roman? Been after him since those Easter murders. Why? What do you know? I know where his wife is. I'll take you to her, if I get an exclusive on any story. His wife? Great. Let's go right now. Hawkeye takes Malone to a cheap rooming house in the heart of the city's slum district. She'll probably play dumb. Well, she may let slip a hint of, shh, here she comes. Mrs. Roman, may we come in a minute? If you're looking for Rocky, I can tell you I ain't seen him for months. Where's that door lead to? Oh, to the next apartment. Old man lives there. What do you want Rocky for? For murder. You can open this door. Come on, Hawkeye. We'll visit next door. Well, young men, what's the meaning? Police. Mind if we look around? No. Guess not. No one hiding here. You guys got a lot of nerve. Hawk, what color hair does Rocky have? Brick red. All right, Santa Claus. You're under arrest. Me? What for? That's what. For Mr. Rocky Roman. All right, Mr. Malone. Hoist those hands. I'll hoist 'em. Steve slaps the gun out of Rocky's hand and floors him with a hard right. Get his gun. Right. How did you know he was Rocky? The comb and brush on the dresser are glutted with red hair. Keep him covered. Rocky's wife sneaks up behind Steve and Hawkeye. All right, Rocky. You and your pal start marching out. And no tricks. Duck, Hawk! Good girl, Ruth. Sock him, Rocky! As Steve throws Joe off his back, Rocky hits him from behind. Steve goes down, stunned. Get out of here! Quick, Rocky! Cops may be downstairs. I'll finish him with this. Mrs. Roman acts to strike Steve while he is still dazed. One conk with this, Mr. Malone, and your lights will be out for good. But Steve's dazed head clears, and he tackles her just as she is about to strike. Oh, my head. You'll be okay. I'm going after Rocky on the roof. You big... I'll show ya. Rocky's wife heaves the heavy candle holder at Steve as he leaves. Miss me? We can run along these roofs till we get to the end building before going down. The car's in the garage, around the corner. Then you better hide here and stop anybody from coming up while I go ahead and get the car ready. Follow in a few minutes. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that door. Steve rushes at the door, unaware of the danger that awaits him. This opens onto the roof. As Steve steps on the roof, Joe fires and grazes Steve's cheek. Ouch! Grazed me that time. Steve leaps for the protection of the chimney. I'm in for it. Gotta get him, before he gets me. I'll have to risk getting to that skylight before he finds out I'm not armed. He didn't think I'd be sap enough to do it. Now, if I can get over this thing. Alright, come out from there, or I come and get ya. Steve knocks Joe out and takes after Rocky. I'll take that gun. May need it for your friend. Meanwhile, Rocky's escape is halted by a locked door. Darn door's locked from the inside. Can't get down this way. While Rocky is trying to decide where to go, Steve reaches the roof. Come on, Rocky, or I'll drop you. Rocky shoots wildly as Steve runs for cover of the chimney. His gun empty, Steve chases Rocky, who dashes for the fire escape. Okay there! What the? Gun's empty. Rocky empties his gun at Steve, forcing him to take cover. Stay back there, you! Take these! Rocky climbs onto parapet and is about to drop onto the fire escape when, grabbed by Steve, while 6 stories below, the police, called by the sound of shooting, spot the dangerous struggle. Look! Up there! 2 guys fighting! Shots coming from up there! Aim those lights! Jim! Bob! Get up on the roof! Steve gets an arm free, and ends the struggle with a hard right to Rocky's jaw. Grab him! Quick! You alright, Steve? Guess so. Did you get the other fellow? Yes, sir. Our men picked him up over on the other roof. The end. Speed Saunders, Ace Investigator, and The Spider, by Gardenier and Fox. During the past 2 months, a mysterious robber called the Spider has been active about New York City. Finally, the police chief calls in the Ace Investigator, Speed Saunders. What can I do to help? Just a minute. Duran's? The Spider has just been there? I'll send someone right away. At Duran's little nightclub. I'm Saunders. You say the Spider? Was here just a while ago. He left his calling card. Look. The calling card of the Spider. A toy spider. The Spider took Duran's valuable emerald necklace. Perhaps he will call on Ruskowski, the Russian emerald collector. A few moments later, while speeding cross town. Hey! There is a splinter of fenders as the big car sweeps in front of Speed. Say, where do you think you're going? I'm Speed Saunders. Speed Saunders? Just the man I want to see. I'm Countess Ruskowski. My husband. Did he receive a toy spider lately? Yes, this morning by mail. The Spider is after emeralds now. Your husband has the finest collection in town. Speed rides away with the Countess. but the home of the Count is strangely deserted. Sergey? Sergey! Allow me to investigate. Speed confronts the spider. Drop that gun. Oh. You won't get me, copper. The wall opened for him. There must be a secret button. I know of no secret passage. I rented the apartment from a reliable concern, too. On his way home that night. Wow. It seems as though someone wanted to get me out of the way. Speed visits the police commissioner again. I must be allowed to handle this my own way. If the spider wants to play rough, then I'm going to show him how. Go right ahead, Speed. Thanks, Chief. The next day, at the Motor Vehicle Bureau. This car that nearly ran me down. A Mr. Rogers owns it. Hey. Yes, he lives in suburbia. I wonder if this Rogers can possibly be the spider. Seems too easy if he is. Is Mr. Rogers in? I'm Miss Roberta Rogers. What can I do for you? A big black car it was. In my name? I don't understand. I only own this blue road model. Is that the car? No. Indeed. I'm sorry to have troubled you. That Rogers woman looks vaguely familiar. I can't place her. But I can shadow her. So that night in suburbia. She's going out. I must follow her. The trail leads to Duran's nightclub. Did a young lady come in a minute ago? No unescorted ladies have been in during the past hour. I know she came in here, but where can she be? But all night, Speed looks in vain. The last act, and still no Miss Rogers. I'm going to drive out to suburbia again. No one's home. My Jimmy will raise the window. Nothing suspicious here. And then, the lights go on. Put up your hands! I'm sorry to use force, but I must examine this house. In the attic, the detective sees some blueprints. What are they? Oh, those? Why, blueprints that my husband left me. He was an architect. These are the plans for the Royal Arms, where Count Ruskowski is staying. Would you mind getting me a glass of water, please? In her absence, Speed slips the blueprints into his pocket. This is the plan for Duran's nightclub. Here is your water. I don't believe I'll take it now. I'm going. The next evening, outside Duran's nightclub. I'm going in this secret way. You go in the front after 5 minutes are up. I think the chase draws to a close. This is where the secret passage begins. And this is where it ends. Good evening, Spider. You wouldn't drink the poisoned water last night, but now you'll die. Not so fast, Spider. Why, it's Durand. Durand, a woman. You operated this place as a blind. Kept a big car in a private garage. For business reasons if anyone became troublesome. You knew the layouts of the big hotels and apartment houses. You were clever. But you forgot your face. And it was familiar to me. I'd seen Durand when I came here last night and didn't find you. I thought of Durand and knew you for him. I wanted proof and got those blueprints. The end. Cosmo, the Phantom of Disguise. Illustrated by Sven Elvin. As Cosmo returns to his apartment. Just a moment, sir. You are Cosmo. Aren't you? Why, yes. I've been waiting for hours to see you. I'd like to speak to you about an urgent matter. Won't you come inside? You can talk quite freely there. I'm Ethel Ridgewood. I've heard of your cleverness in solving crime and your kindness to those in distress. Now I've come to ask your help. I'm greatly flattered and honored. Tell me your dilemma. My father owns the Purple Mesa Ranch in Arizona, together with Jim Lawson, his partner. For 2 years they have lost numbers of cattle to rustlers, and were faced with foreclosure and ruin within a few weeks, unless this stealing ends. Can you help us? I couldn't resist your charm and appeal if I wanted to, Miss Ridgewood. We're starting for your ranch tomorrow. It's best we go in my car, instead of by train. I've more freedom of action that way. I don't know how to thank you. We better not disclose the purpose of my trip. Can you suggest a motive for my visit? Why not hire out as a cowboy? I'm afraid I'd be too green, and would only give myself away. I know. I'll go as an artist. That way I can move freely about the place. That's an excellent plan. After several days, they reach their destination. There's our ranch up ahead. I won't guarantee results, Miss Ridgewood. This is a bit out of my line. Cosmo is warmly received by Ridgewood. Father, look who I brought out with me. Why, blast my eyes! If it isn't... Hush! Not so loud. And my name is Peter Van Dorn, artist. I don't want my purpose here known. See? Ah, I see. Well, come. I want to introduce you to my partner. Here, Lawson. Come over here and meet Ethel's artist friend. How do you do, Van Dorn? Welcome to our ranch. After I get a bit rested, would you show me around a little? It's beautiful country. Really. That evening, Ridgewood and Cosmo talk over the ranch problem. If I don't pay my mortgage of $7,000 by November 1st, I lose everything I own, and the cattle I intended selling has been stolen. By whom I don't know. How about Lawson? Where does he come in? He owns half interest with me. He wants to sell out to me for $60,000, but I can't find anyone to lend me the money. Looks like a bad spot, Ridgewood. We've got 2 weeks to work in. I'll snoop around a bit. Next morning. How about going with me on a sketching trip, Miss Ethel? I'd love to, Mr. Van Dorn. I'm sure Jim won't mind me running out on my date. I didn't know Jim Lawson was interested in you, Miss Ethel. He's asked to marry me, but I want to stay by my father until this situation is solved. I feel he needs me. Say, look! A writer. He's writing madly. Something's up. Why, it's old Gus Batson. He's been with us since I was a baby. He's hurt. Miss Ethel, the cows. Gone. Stone Gulch. I was shot by... Poor old Gus. Oh, when will all this misery end? Shot through the chest. I'm afraid he's done for. Give me a sketch of the ranch. You must know it well. Go back home and tell your father what's happened. I'll look around a bit by myself. I'll take Batson's gun. It might come in handy. But do be careful, Cosmo. Then, a few minutes later... Help! Help! Let me go! Gad! What's that? A woman's scream. Ethel Ridgewood! Cosmo wheels and tears for the direction of the cry. It came from up that pass. Suddenly, a gun barks, and a bullet grazes Cosmo as his hat goes flying. Whoa! Back of this rock, and quick! No one in sight. I better pull for the house, or I'll overplay my part. At the house. Here, Van Dorn. Quick! Lawson's been shot. Ethel is kidnapped. My cattle is stolen. Everything's lost. What happened, Lawson? Hurry, Cal. Get Dr. Brent. I was riding with Gus Batson to spot out some steers in the brush swamp when 3 masked men opened fire on us. They dropped Batson, but I escaped with a shot-up arm. They had captured Ethel Ridgewood. How bad is it, Doc? You'll be okay in a few days, Lawson. I've got the bullet out. It lodged in the large muscle of your arm. But unnoticed, Cosmo picks the spent bullet from the fireplace. First thing in the morning, I'm starting for the hills. The next morning, the household is aroused. Here, Cosmo! Look! Lawson's been kidnapped. And here's a note I found on the table. Ridgewood, if you don't give up your ranch, we'll string up Lawson and hold your daughter. Hoist 2 red lanterns on your roof tonight for an answer of yes. Quietly, Cosmo slips out of the house and mounts his horse. I better stack up on ammunition. Things are likely to get pretty hot. A few hours later, he reaches the hill lands. Somewhere about here is where the scream came from, and where Batson came out. Suddenly, 2 shots crack out. Like a flash, Cosmo is out of the saddle and runs for cover. Ha! Here starts the fireworks. He makes long fuses from his shirt and ties them to cartridges, then lights them and carefully crawls off. Whew. Looks like they're working around me. Good. The ruse works. But they're closing in on the shots. I can work above them. So, that's where the cattle disappear. A stone door to a mountain tunnel. I've got to find out where it comes out. Then, while the outlaws work toward their supposed enemy, Cosmo carefully scans the distance. Far off, he sees the dust from a herd of cattle. Guardedly, he works out of range and heads for the spot. The tracks come from up this creek. Must be a hole in the rock wall somewhere. Ah, there's the place. Now to roll down a pile of boulders and close the passage. I might trap the rats pretty. And now to get back to the upper entrance. As Cosmo watches the rustlers burst out of the tunnel. Hey, Lawson! The tunnel's closed on the other end. Something's gone wrong. Come on, let's go in and see what's up. As the men enter, Lawson lags behind. Then, he suddenly turns and, grabbing the captive girl, runs out and blocks up the entrance to the cave. Now, my pretty one, it's you and me. The gang won't need the money where they are. I've got the swag. You'll stay with me in the hills until things blow over. Come on, give me a kiss for saving your life. Why, you murderous blackguard, you! Like a streak, Cosmo flings himself on Lawson. A short but wicked battle ensues. But finally, Cosmo clips his adversary, who goes out like a light. Ah, my handsome skunk. I had a notion you were crooked, and I'll use only one hand on you to be fair. Here, Cosmo, is the kiss he tried to take from me. Why? The rustlers are rounded up, and with Lawson taken to justice. You see, Lawson's story of the shooting didn't tally, and the bullet in his arm matched Batson's gun. He killed Batson, who caught him red-handed rustling your own cattle. He tried to ruin you so he'd get the place. It just didn't work out so good, eh? We won't know how to thank you. The end. Bruce Nelson, by Tom Hickey. A weekend party at the mountain lodge of millionaire Keith Lord in the White Mountains. That's Bruce Nelson, the famous amateur detective. He's a whiz on skis. Boy, this mountain air takes 10 years off your life. What a spot for some poor, unsuspecting soul to go crashing off. That evening, quite a cast of celebrities Lord has rounded up, eh, Nelson? There's Sam Waller, the gossip columnist, talking to Sandra King, the famous skater. That morose-looking chap over there is Ted Grayson, the sports writer. In private life, Sandra King's husband. Nelson noticed millionaire playboy Keith Lord's eyes darting toward Sandra and Sam Waller. During dinner that evening, a distressed-looking Sam Waller stood up. Will you excuse me? I don't feel so good. It's the fresh air that's killing Sam. You'd think he'd be afraid of losing his nightclub tan out here. If you'll excuse me also, I'll see that Sam is made comfortable. A few minutes later, Keith Lord returned. Just a little indigestion. He's going to go out for a little air. Later that night, I've got one of those crazy hunches of mine, that there's a lot more wrong with Waller than indigestion. To satisfy his curiosity, he strolled down the hall to Waller's room. Empty? Don't tell me he's still out for a little air. Nelson's curiosity was completely roused now. He dressed and went outside. What a maze of tracks. Ski tracks, snowshoe tracks, toboggan tracks. Apparently all made by the gang this afternoon. From a bedroom in the lodge, a figure watches Nelson intently. Wait. Here's some peculiar marks alongside this toboggan track. I've got it. Fingers being dragged through the snow would make marks like that. That toboggan was being pulled along with a man on it. His hand was dragging in the snow. Nelson put on his skis and set out to follow the strange trail. One set of footprints stop here. There's the other set going back to the lodge. The toboggan was started down this slope. There's its mark. With his ski poles held ready for instant use as brakes, Bruce shoved off down the slope after the toboggan trail. Ahead of the onrushing Nelson yawned the blank face of the cliff he had viewed that day. Suddenly, he recognized his surroundings. He was almost to the cliff. He jammed in his poles and executed a sharp turn. He circled around the precipice and reached the bottom in safety. Boy, what a drop. That was a close call. Now, unless I miscalculated, I'll find Sam Waller's broken body somewhere at the base of this cliff. And there he is. Look at that toboggan. Smashed to splinters. Here's some pieces of rope. I'm firmly convinced Waller was dead when he was tied to that toboggan. Judging by his look when he got up from the dinner table last night, I'd say his food was poisoned. He knew too much about something to suit somebody on this party. Nelson broke off some pine boughs and covered Waller's body with them. Then he started back to the lodge. Once there, he reported the matter to the police of Barryton, the nearest town. And in that autopsy, don't forget to check on that poison angle. Nelson stood there debating his next move when he heard footsteps on the stairs. It was Lord. Nelson, what are you doing up? That isn't important. What is important is that I found Sam Waller, dead, at the base of that cliff just to the north of here. Sam Waller? Dead? Don't bother to rouse your guests now, but I would like to talk to your cook now. I'll get him. Li Feng, Was Mr. Lord or any of his guests in your kitchen at any time while you were preparing dinner today? Mr. Lord dropped in couple times. That's all. Were you out of the kitchen for any length of time during the day? Yes, sir. At 2 o'clock I drive into town to get groceries, and some cigarettes for Mr. Grayson. Wait a minute. Grayson asked you to get cigarettes for him in town? Yes. I met him in hall. He asked me how soon I go to town. I tell him in 10 minutes. He say, bring me carton of cigarettes. I see. That's all, Lee. Thank you. Nelson went out to the kitchen and surveyed the room thoughtfully. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He started forward eagerly. Well, look here. Blood spots on the floor. Somebody either cut themselves, or more likely, knocked and reopened an old cut without knowing it. Next morning. Good morning, Grayson. What's the matter with your hand? Have an accident? Oh, I had an old cut. Fell on it skiing yesterday and reopened it. Then you must have been skiing in the kitchen. I found the blood on the floor. You must have knocked it when you sneaked in to put poison in Sam Waller's food. What do you mean? Never mind the baby stare. I know you poisoned Sam Waller. And then, under cover of darkness, you tied him to a toboggan and shoved him down the hill and off that cliff. You thought it would look like an accident. I know. I could not sleep last night. I went out to get some air and I saw you. Maybe I can bluff this out of him. You may have seen me, but you'll never get a chance to repeat that story. You may as well throw that gun away. It isn't loaded anymore. As Grayson looked down at the gun in surprise, Nelson picked up a vase and heaved it with unerring accuracy. I just got a confession from Grayson. You had a close call, Keith. Waller was to use his filthy column to expose a supposed scandal between you and Sandra King. Grayson was to sue you for alienation of affections. Then the three of them were to split the money. But Waller got too greedy. He wanted a larger cut. Grayson couldn't see it that way. He decided to put Waller out of the way and go it alone with Sandra. Nice friends you have, Lord. Nelson, you've saved my worthless neck. I'll never forget it. The end. Slam Bradley by Jerry Siegel and Mart Bailey. Slam and Shorty are blissfully lost in slumber when a muffled sound awakens Slam Bradley, glimpsing a shadowy figure at the foot of his bed. The daring detective takes a flying leap toward it. Housebreaker, eh? Well, you can break your chin on my knuckles. Missing his target, Bradley crashes into the wall. What happened? I dived for a burglar, but he escaped. Looks though like he left us a gift. Don't open that box. There may be a bomb in it. Nonsense. I don't hear any time mechanism ticking away. Jiminy gosh! Money! $10,000. And there's a note inside. It says, come to the Blue Ox Tavern in Shanghai, where another $15,000 awaits you. Say, this is just the kind of mysterious setup I go for. Get your toss together. We're heading for China. A week later, our two intrepid friends walked down the gangplank of a steamer into Shanghai, Wonder City of the East. The first thing I'm gonna do is hunt me up a dish of chop suey. Sap. Don't you know that's an American dish? Later, within the Blue Ox Tavern, a low dive. We've been sitting here for hours. Nothing's happened, and the place is gonna close. Let's get moving. It looks like we crossed the ocean on a wild goose chase. But as they emerge from the tavern, hey, Well, at least maybe we'll get a good scrap out of the trip. As Slam and Shorty are about to be overwhelmed by numbers, another group of Orientals intervenes and battles their attackers. Come with me. I am a friend. Lead on. This grows more interesting. The two detectives are guided to a luxurious residence. Are you the fellows who gave out with that $15,000 offer? I am Ken Fu, leader of the Lan Shi Tong. Yes, we summoned you here. You have your choice. Do as we say, and the $15,000 is yours. Refuse our offer, and, I know, the executioner's sword. Psst. Ask him what we gotta do to get the dough. There is something we are very anxious to acquire. Having heard of your prowess, we sent for you, but we can't divulge what we wish you to seek. But how am I to find whatever you want if you don't tell me what it is? That will be my task. This is Moi Ting. She will act as your guide, and at the proper moment, divulge the object of your search. Pleased to meet you. She can speak perfect English. What is your decision? The sword or the money? Since my partner and I are rather fond of this earthly existence, we'll choose the latter. Later. I'll call for you at your hotel tomorrow morning at 9. Be ready to leave. See you at 9. Next morning, 10 o'clock. No sign of the gal. Are we being stood up? I've been sent to summon you, if you'll follow. They follow their silent guide to a sinister appearing building. Enter. I don't like the look of this. You're just suffering from a case of nerves. But as they enter, when they revive, where? We're at the mercies of a human devil. You would do well to hold your tongue, brash one, before I have it torn out. Answer me. What did the Lan Shi want of you? Nosy, aren't you? As their tormentor operates a lever, the hand and foot braces commence to move apart, bringing excruciating pain to Slam's straining muscles. I, Chung, will teach you to be civil. Answer quickly. Tell me everything, or I'll rip your limbs apart. There's nothing more I can say. Moi Ting! Surprised that I escaped your men? After locking Chung in a closet, Moi Ting frees Slam and Shorty. I'll have you loose in a moment. Hurry. The pain is terrific. And now to give that skunk the beating he deserves. No, don't. There is no time for vengeance. He's gone. Quick. Each moment increases the danger. The three hurry through the halls in a tense effort to escape. Little do they suspect they're walking into a trap. I wish you'd drop the mystery and tell me just what it is we're seeking. All I can say is that it is an object of utmost importance, and that you will learn in good time. Master, you deliberately let them escape into the street. Why not permit them to lead me to what I too seek? There will be plenty of time to strike later. Moi Ting leads them to a completely outfitted expedition. Soon after, they set out into the heart of China. Unaware that they are being pursued by a heavily armed force led by Chong. Stealthily, they enter the massive structure from the rear. Shh. Chung captures Moi Ting's men in a surprise attack. Surrender, or be destroyed. Then, alone, follows the path previously taken by Moi Ting, Slam, and Shorty. Soon, the end of the trail, and a priceless victory. Within the great edifice, a weird ceremony. Down! Before you're seen! That idol. You must get it. After the worshippers depart, and one man remains, Slam and the others climb down toward him. But as they creep toward the guardian of the idol, Shorty trips. Oops! Alarmed, the guardian wheels. Gosh. You've betrayed us! Stop him! He's going to spread an alarm! Leave him to me. You'll have to practice blowing that thing some other time. But snatching up a huge sword, the guardian of the idol advances upon them, swinging it menacingly. Careful! He's trying to force us back into that great pit. Fortunately for Slam, he is struck only by the side of the sword. Look out, Slam! Just as they are about to be forced over the pit's edge. Chung! Yes, it was I who shot the idol's keeper. But why save our lives? I thought you hated everything about us. Do not think I have gone altruistic. I merely didn't want the alarm spread. And as for you, once I get the idol, I'll finish the job he started. That idol belongs to the Lanchi, was stolen from them by these fanatics. True, but the native population has such faith in the idol that they will obey every whim of its owner. But the Lanchi tongue will put the idol to good use. And you infer that I will use it for evil gain? Quite true. The idol's going to be mine. Don't any of you move. His face transfigured with evil desire, Chung reaches for the idol. Mine. And with it goes the power to sway the nation. But as he lifts the idol from its resting place... There must have been a trap prepared for anyone who tried to steal the idol. You owe your life to Chong's greed to secure the idol for himself. Let us leave, before some of the worshippers return. As they near their camp... Look! Enemy soldiers have captured our men. I'll fix that. Mind if I borrow that machine gun? Raise your hands, and no monkey business. You did it, Slam! Whee! And so commences a triumphant return march to Shanghai. Later. You did your task well. Here is the amount promised you. We shall always remember and treasure your assistance. Don't forget, I was quite a hero too. Wasn't I? Next day, as Slam and Shorty begin their journey back to the United States. Well, Shorty, how was that for picking up some easy money? Easy? Having our arms almost torn off? Narrowly escaping being thrown into a pit? That's not my idea of taking things easily. The end.